Christina Martins is putting her foot down when it comes to women being forced to wear high heels at work. She'll introduce a private member's bill today that would ban Ontario employers from making heels a mandatory part of any uniform. To weigh in on this, let's bring in Lior Samfiru, an employment lawyer at Samfiru Tumarkin, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Bev.
So tell me how this might affect workplaces across the province and just how widespread it is that these high heels are mandatory.
Well, I think it's certainly widespread in certain industries, and the service industries, restaurants, where gender-specific uniforms are the norm. And our Human Rights Tribunal here in Ontario has already issued a ruling that's saying the gender-specific uniforms generally are illegal. It's a violation of human rights laws. But that process to pursue a matter as a human rights issue is not easy. It's cumbersome. So what this new law, if it comes into place, it gives another option to employees to refuse to wear high heels in the workplace. There's safety issues, there's gender discrimination issues, and an employer cannot then penalize an employee for refusing to wear these high heels, and in fact an employer then would be able to be punished, fined, and prosecuted for requiring an employee to wear those heels. So I think it's certainly a very good move, and probably one that was overdue.
It is a private member's bill, which, as you know, they don't get through all that often. If it doesn't get through, and let's say just currently day-to-day today, what rights does an employee have to go to his or her employer and say, I don't want to wear these high heels?
Well, right now, the ability to refuse would be tied to human rights, and the fact that a woman would say, well, this is discriminatory. You're not requiring your male employees to wear high heels, and this reinforces gender discrimination stereotypes. The problem with that is that there's no automatic right to refuse. One would have to go to a hearing before the Human Rights Tribunal, which would then decide. And in the meantime, what do? Do you wear them? Do you not wear them? If this law that does come into force, and I don't think too many people are going to object to it coming into law, it gives an immediate and direct ability to refuse work, to refuse to wear those high heels without the employer being able to do anything. So it really does give the protection that an employee would need to be able to refuse that type of a situation.
And who do you think is taking a look at this in terms of the private member's bill? Obviously here, but in other jurisdictions, maybe other provinces?
Well, in BC already, Bev, they've accomplished this. They've already implemented a bill that prevents employers from requiring high heels in the workplace for safety reasons. So I think now that's the trend we're going to see. We're going to see other provinces, other jurisdictions catching up. It's really the old-fashioned way of doing things. You have uniforms for women and uniforms for men, and they're not the same. That's gone. I think most realize that you can't have that unless there's an absolute legitimately business reason. And because of that, I think our laws are going to catch up to that reality. And in Ontario and in other provinces, other than just BC that has done it, we're going to see, of course, these laws come into effect. And I personally applaud it, and I think it's a very good idea.
Lior Samfiru, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Bev.